What's going on, my trainer club? We have Palkia coming out to Pokemon Go, so I am going to bring you the top raid counters and the 100% IVs to get you prepped and ready to start beating down Palkia. So welcome to the trainer club, guys. Here we go. Let me know in the comments who is hyped for Palkia, and then go ahead and throw that sub on there. I want to make sure that you guys get that excellent throw tutorial that will come out for Palkia in a couple days. So Palkia is coming for a month, starting on January 29th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, everything else coordinating with your time zone. If you need to know, go to PokemonGoLive.com, but just make sure to get out there and catch as many as you can. So let's get into all of the details right now. I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited about Palkia coming to Pokemon Go. We have a Water Dragon Legendary that is coming out that is going to be a super beast and very powerful and fun to use in Pokemon Go. So if you checked out my top most anticipated Pokemon coming in 2019, Palkia was one of them. So now we are going to get in. Number one, what is the 100% IV for Palkia? Number two, what are the top raid counters for Palkia? And then number three, how many people do you need to use to beat Palkia efficiently? So let's check all of this out right now. We have a max CP theorized to be 3991. I think this is pretty accurate. This is Pokemon Go Hub. So the attack is going to be 280, defense is going to be 215, and stamina is 189. So he is going to be a very beastly Pokemon. He is going to deliver a lot of damage, and since two of his specials are going to be stab effectiveness, meaning they're going to be very effective and deliver more damage because it matches his typing, this guy is going to have some problems if you are trying to two-man him. There are theories that you can do the two-man. However, it does recommend that not only are you best friends, you have to get lucky and you have to be in the prime situation and conditions to boost your Pokemon. So Palkia is going to be weak to Fairy and Dragon, single weakness. He does not have a double weakness. So that's one reason why he's going to be a little bit harder to beat, because he only has a single weakness as opposed to somebody like Heatran that has the double weakness. He is going to have a single resistance to Steel, and then he is also going to have a double resistance to Fire and Water. So he's going to be very effective to use as a Dragon Pokemon if you ever have something that needs to have water resistance as well. And then he is regularly weak to Fairy and Dragon. So both of those guys are going to come into play as we go into the counters, but let's check out the 100% IV for Palkia. Under normal conditions, Palkia can be caught at a level 20 100% IV at 2280. And then under boosted conditions, which is either going to be under wind or rain, so he has two different conditions that are going to boost him, he can be caught at 2850. So we have both of those options to catch them. But since he has two different typings, it's going to be a little bit more effective to catch him. You guys want to say hi to the puppies? Hey puppies, puppies, look. Are you excited about Palkia? Are you excited about Palkia? Huh? You are? So he is excited about Palkia just like I am. So 2850 is that 100% level 25 boosted CP for Palkia. So look out for those guys. And then on to the best counters. So there's a pretty good amount of counters. We're gonna break down all of the counters in the supreme, the good, and the excellent ranges so that you guys know exactly what to power up if you don't have any powered up. Getting into the battle parties, what you do have to know is that some of these guys are gonna be taking a little bit more damage depending on what the moveset is, because he does get Draco Meteor, which is going to make him strong against the Dragon Pokemon, which these guys are going to be the supreme attackers, which means they're the best and most effective, but they're also going to take a lot of damage because he has stab effectiveness on his Dragon moves, and he gets two quick fast moves, which are going to be Dragon Tail and Dragon Breath. So he's going to have two Dragon moves as his main moves, and then his specials are going to be Draco Meteor, he's going to get Hydro Pump, and then he's also going to get Fire Blast, which is a pretty cool offset move. You know I like those offset moves. So Fire Blast is actually going to be the most effective and easiest one for you guys to take down, but when using the dragons, if he has double dragon moves, just know that he is going to deal a lot of damage to those guys. Hydro Pump and Draco Meteor are going to deliver a ton of damage to your guys. So Hydro Pump is a very effective special, and since he's getting stabbed, it's going to be a pretty lethal one. And then also for the Draco Meteor, it's not quite as strong of a special as it could be, but it's also going to be stabbed from a very powerful raid boss with a pretty solid attack. So make sure to have very powerful dragons, and make sure to have a lot of them if you're going to choose to use your dragons. All right, guys. And now getting on to the counters for Palkia to make sure that you can effectively beat him when you are going up against him. If you have lower numbers, if you have high numbers, you can just use what it auto selects for you, although you may not be getting as much damage balls, but the more effective thing is to go in with best and ultra friends to get more damage. So we're going to look at the number one counter is going to be Rayquaza. Rayquaza is going to have Dragon Tail and Outrage as the only supreme attacker that we have for Palkia. So Rayquaza is going to be the absolute best. So if you have some of those and they're powered up, amazing. If you don't, or you haven't powered yours up yet, you may want to consider powering one of those up, or maybe two of those up. So on to the next one, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have at least powered up some of them, is going to be the Dragonite with the Dragon Tail and the Outrage move. So for a duo, if you're under the right conditions, if you're getting boosted, if he has Fire Blast, if you are best friends or ultra friends at minimum, I would suggest best friends for the damage boost, you are going to be able to only use Dragonite and a Rayquaza to do that duo. So I am sure that that's going to happen and it's going to be out there, and I am excited to see that duo, but that's what you're gonna have, and you're gonna have to have them pretty boosted up. So I cannot wait to see somebody do that duo. And then on to the third excellent attacker, we're going with Palkia against Palkia with Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. And then on to the fourth counter, we're looking at Salamence with Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. So Salamence is a decent choice, but since it only has Draco Meteor as the choice and it doesn't give off 2 damage specials, that can really hinder you. And then just for honorable mention, if we had Dialga, or whenever Dialga comes out, Dragon Tail Draco Meteor for Dialga can be sitting in the 5th spot for the attackers. We can also use, which I really like because of how quick Dragon Breath is, you can use the Latios with Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, and Dragon Claw gets off very quickly, and there's a lot of specials to come from that. So that's why I like using those guys, because you're able to get more specials off. Like I've said before, the more specials off you can get is better than dying with like a half charged 1-bar special and only getting 1 off, such as like Draco Meteor, because you're gonna have a half charge. That would actually be 3 other specials if they were half-bar moves as opposed to full-bar one-time specials. And so from here on out, we're going to get into the good attackers, but the time to win goes up considerably, meaning if you are under a time crunch with the less players, these are not the guys that you're going to want to use. So what we're looking at here, we're going to look at Latias with Dragon Breath and Outrage. We're looking at Gardevoir with Confusion and Dazzling Gleam. The fairy on that Dazzling Gleam is what's going to make him effective. I really like Gardevoir, but he's not a supreme or not an excellent attacker. He's a good attacker. You can also use the Alolan Executor with Dragon Tail and Dragon Pulse. You can use Gyarados with Dragon Breath and Outrage, and then you can also use Groudon with the Dragon Tail and the Solar Beam since he has water, so that actually works really well for that instance. And then on the way down, we can use Confusion with Mewtwo and Shadow Ball, and we can bump in that Kingdra like we said earlier with the Dragon Breath and the Outrage. We can also do Giratina with the Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, and then we can do Togekiss with the Air Slash and Dazzling Gleam. So breaking down everything, what you really want is you want the top attackers just as always, because they're going to do the most damage, get you the most balls, and you're going to make it the most efficient for your entire party. So we're going to check out the time to win here so you can check out how this drops and starts off significantly. So let's check this out here. Looking at Rayquaza, his time to win is going to be 627 seconds with 33 deaths. If we're looking at the Dragonite, we have 677 seconds with 31 deaths, so a little bit less deaths on that because Dragonite's a little bit more tanky, but Rayquaza is going to hold the top spot with that. And then we're going to look at the Salamence at 687, Palkia at 696, and then Garchomp, which obviously isn't out, we have 693. Then we also have Latios at 726, we have Dialga at 730, and then here we go with the big jump in time seconds for a couple of these. We have Rampardos, which is going to be 898, Deoxys, which would be insane the amount of Deoxys that you would have to have in there to do this, but it was 706 seconds, which is really efficient. And now we're going to get into the dropped as I talked about a little bit earlier. So we are looking at Latias, which is going to be 836 seconds. Executor in the Alolan form is going to be 890. Giratina is going to be 851. Alakazam, which we didn't mention, with Dazzling Gleam is going to be 885. We also have Flygon in there at 891. So as you see, these are going up, 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 and up, and this is not what we want. If you have a party of 10 plus, this is fine. Go ahead and use these guys. But if you're really trying to get down with the smaller parties, get more raid balls, and have more effective raids with not using as many people and coordinating, you really have to stay to the top of the list with the Dragonite and the Rayquaza and just go as hard as you possibly can with those guys, because they are going to give you the firepower that you need, the time and damage that you need to make sure to maximize. So make sure to get your guys powered up, make sure to be ready, set your raid parties, get as many of the Rayquazas and Dragonites in there. I'm assuming and I hope that a lot of you guys have at least one powered up Rayquaza, at least 2 powered up Dragonites, and if you don't, now would be the time to do it, because we have a couple dragons coming up. These guys are going to be very effective for this. Rayquaza is going to be one of the #1 attackers. So this is what we're going to do. Thank you for tuning into the Trainer Club, guys. I super appreciate all of you guys. I cannot wait to make that excellent throw tutorial for you, because we have a new legendary coming out. So I will see you guys out on that next video.